Chapter 12. The Aftermath. After the battle, a few of the townsfolk arrived with pitchforks and spears, and were shocked by the carnage. And hours later, Paulus had meetings with the elders of Rugelum to explain what had occurred and how they had been duped by Lord Meleron. And after a few days, things started to return to normal in Rugelum, but with a difference. No longer did the folk of Rugelum feel a dark, heavy weight hanging over them, and the light was a little lighter. At the Four Oaks Inn, all the adventurers joined for drinks. Paulus and Nikolai sipped at their tankards as Gemillion recounted his story. He had been befriended by Kelvar Meleron while attending a folk music festival many years ago. Kelvar impressed Gemillion with his vast knowledge of elf music, and Gemillion began to see Lord Meleron as a kindred spirit who enjoyed the old-time music of the elves, until one night when they were ambushed by orcs. In the attack, Gemillion was pushed off a high cliff, but luckily he survived the fall when he transformed into an owl. And while perched as an owl on a high branch of the tree, he saw Kelvar speaking with the orcs. And with a shocked realization, he realized the ambush was set up so Lord Meleron could steal Gemillion's mandolin. Kelvar failed to understand that Gemillion's magic came from him, not the instrument, and when he realized he couldn't access the magic power, Kelvar smashed the mandolin in frustration. After that, and for many years, Gemillion spied upon Lord Meleron, wanting to understand what he was up to, and was horrified by the evil plan he was devising. All seemed hopeless until he came to Tamwort and noticed Paulus and Nikolai. Gemillion had heard of their many good deeds and hoped these could be the heroes who could help him defeat the Dark Lord. Using his owl form, he listened to their conversation with the mayor and realized that the adventurers were heading into a trap, and it was time for Gemillion to take action. Captain Davis Besfed put down his tankard and continued. About a day after you left, Gemillion came to me and told me the danger that we were all in, if Lord Meleron could complete his foul plan. I managed to convince Mayor Johansson to give me some men to come and aid you against this Dark Lord. It was the same for me and Karth, Neil said. Gemillion has the power of foresight, and he showed us the end result of Meleron's evil plan. The world would have been left in darkness, Neil said, drinking his tankard. I'm sorry I didn't approach you with my information, but I didn't know how many spies Lord Meleron had watching you. I wanted him to overestimate his plan, and then spring a surprise attack on him, Gemillion said. It is good that we have joined forces. Me and Nikolai have been fighting the evil eternal darkness for so long, and still his dark power never seems to wither. Maybe now, working together, we may finally defeat this evil, Paulus said. Gemillion got up and began to play his mandolin, and the drinkers sang and cheered, and everybody was in good spirits. Even Nikolai was joining in the singing, as Gemillion played knocking back tankard after tankard of tea. Oi, elf, have you got any flipping dwarven tunes, right? Nikolai shouted, out uncouthly. Gemillion just raised his eyebrow and ignored the boisterous dwarf. After a while, Paulus snuck out of the inn and made his way back to the stone mine. Before the last rays of sunlight fell behind the ruined tower, Paulus stood above the freshly made grave of the else-withered Lyriel Robinsaw. The grave was adorned with many flowers and gifts, and a monument was going to be made to finally honour this heroic elf, now that the truth had been revealed to the townsfolk of Rugelum. A beautiful raven-haired woman was planting some flowers on the grave when Paulus arrived.
Hello, my lady. My name is Paulus Balabarus. Do you need any assistance?
Paulus said, as the woman stood up to greet him. No, thank you. I just wanted to pay my respects. I feel so awful about how this poor health has been treated. My name is Bavina Spencera, the woman said, as she extended her hand. Paulus gently kissed it, and a jolt of electricity passed between them. Paulus could not shake the feeling that he knew her from somewhere, and he felt a stirring in his heart. I own a shop in Rugelum where I cut people's hair. Maybe you should come sometime, and I will give you a free haircut, in thanks for what you have done for us in this fine town of Rugelum. Bavina said with a smile.
Thank you. I would be honoured, my lady,
Paulus said. And with that, Bavina curtsied and left the flower-adorned grave. Paulus reflected on the journey ahead and the potential perils and hardship that the adventurers were going to face.
I shall miss you, my old friend. Your power and wisdom would have been invaluable in the days ahead,
Paulus said, as a tear welled in his eye. At that point, the wind blew gently, and a voice spoke to Paulus. Remember, Paulus, use the light, for the light is with you. It was the voice of Lyriel, and Paulus' eyes widened with surprise and wonder. The end. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to people and events, live or dead, is purely coincidental. Thank you for listening. This has been a Lee Robinson production of The Cursed Tower by Lee Robinson. Read by the author. Music by Lee Robinson.